Welcome back to the Glide Academy podcast. I'm your host, Ez Chandra, and on this episode, we're having a chat about building business growth with Instagram with Brooke Villonovic.
Yes.
Thanks, Brooke, for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
So lovely to have you here. So I'm going to do a little bit of an intro so the audience knows who you are. I'm sure a lot of people do.
You better.
So just quickly, so Brooke V, we can call
Let's
you.
go with V.
Yep, is an Instagram specialist and international keynote speaker, creator of the global social club membership and academy, which is now in 32 countries, and a regular guest on Channel 9 News Perth. With a background in sales and marketing, Brooke's love of customer service and her enthusiastic personality allowed her to quickly skyrocket through the digital marketing world to become one of Australia's most influential Instagram speakers and trainers, working with brands like American Express, Dermalogica, Mazda, and City of Perth. Today, Brooke specialises in educating businesses on exactly how to leverage the power of social media to increase their brand awareness and boost their bottom line, which is what we like too. The other thing is that in 2019, Brooke was also awarded the Top 50 Small Business Leaders Award in Australia, featured on the cover of Inside Small Business Magazine, Spring 2019 edition. I hope to be in the magazine one day.
You'll get there.
I'll get there. The right type of one.
Yeah, what kind of magazine?
And referred to the Queen of Media by the West Australian newspaper as well, which is a very, very big statement.
Hey.
So, yeah, no, that's great. Awesome. So thanks for coming on the show. And look, obviously you've built your audience and your brand. It's taken a long time for you to get there over the years. Can you tell us a little bit about the business that you're in, like what type of business it is and how it works for you particularly?
Sure.
Yeah.
So I am in the business of teaching Instagram marketing, but also making it a bit more fun than the usual marketing conferences that can tend to get a little bit yawn. So I wanted to create a system to make marketing your business on Instagram fun and easy and enjoyable, because
practical and hands-on.
I think when you can make something fun and enjoyable, that's when it becomes easy to do. And if we can make marketing your business easy, well, doesn't that just make everything else in your business easy?
Yes.
Because it's easy for people to find out about you. It's easy for you to communicate with them. It's easier for them to communicate with you. And then all of that works in the cycle of building up trust to then convert them into customers. So then it becomes easy to make sales.
So your pipeline really is about creating value, adding value to your audience.
Yeah.
And you do that through your Instagram, obviously the Instagram account, and that's all sorts of tips and tricks and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think you've built a subscriber base. Could you tell us a little bit more about that as well?
Yeah, so I have the social club, which is the membership. I also have an academy, which is an online course as well. So the way the social club membership works is you sign up to a monthly, pay a monthly fee, and you sign up, you get a weekly lesson on how to market your business via email, and then you also get access to a webinar on the lesson as well. So it caters for people who want to read, caters for people who want to watch. We do monthly content plans, I do bonus training, but the whole point is to get you confident to market your business using Instagram.
And the other thing is that you've got quite a bit of a subscription list as well. You've grown
We do have quite a bit of a subscription list.
Yeah. So your goal is to get it to 1,000.
Yeah. So we've had thousands through the membership over the years. The membership will be 3 in December, which I'm super proud of.
Amazing.
But the goal is to have 1,000 active subscribers.
Sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what about the actual audience and the tips and the education? I've found that your actual Instagram profile is probably one of the highest engagement profiles I've seen, because you see a lot of people with like 30,000 followers or 20,000, but then they'll have like a couple of people comment or a couple of likes here and there, which Not sure how they got built.
Neither am I.
But then with yours, like literally I've seen your posts, like literally every single one of your posts, you've got hundreds of comments.
Yeah,
And
it's cool.
Yeah, it's quite amazing.
Well,
yeah.
my social media community are like my little family, you know.
Yes.
These are girls, given that some of them I've never met in my life because they're from all over the world, but there's also a lot of people on there that I've met over the past 5 years in real life and interacted with, and I really invest a lot of time into responding to my community. I reply to every single DM, albeit it takes me a little bit longer now, and every single comment, because it's important to me to help build that brand, to be able to engage, and engagement works both ways. I can't just sit back and make people come to me, because eventually they'll stop. If you're not engaging with them, then there's no conversation, and Instagram's all about having a conversation.
Do you find that people build their profile up and then they get it to a certain point and they kind of stop engaging? Because
do you know what's been actually quite interesting that I've seen probably this year specifically is a lot of bigger brands online that perhaps didn't engage before have changed their strategy, because they've realized that there are these little accounts that are booming because of the amount of time they invest into engaging with their audience, and that's what consumers want. That's the customer service they expect. And if they don't get it, then they unfollow you and disappear, and they find someone else who will give it to them.
I mean, at the end of the day, you kind of like the social media account and the platform that you're managing is like a little community that you've built.
Totally.
It's not just about you. Like you said, it's about the family.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about the strength of building a community, and particularly I think you've got a bit of a tribe going?
Yeah.
I guess.
Well, the strength and purpose of having a community is ultimately, if you can get people involved in your brand and they trust you and they find your content valuable and it's helpful and it solves their problems and meets their needs, well, then they will assume that whatever product or service you recommend is right for them as well. And that's how you ultimately make the sales off the community.
Yes, I mean you have to build the community first, build the audience first, the brand, and the selling is I guess a bonus or icing on the cake. That's kind of how you have to look at it, right?
But you've got to build that brand first. I would recommend anyone that was starting off, before you think about, you know, the detail of what you're going to sell, focus on building the community up first, because Instagram isn't about selling, it's about community. So you've got to lead with building the community, and then you can sell to them once you have their trust. But if you don't have their trust, they're not going to buy off you. Doesn't matter what you sell.
Yeah, and I think what you do is you kind of create that trust through the education and all the knowledge and the materials that you share for free in some cases, and then obviously they pay you through the subscription to get a bit more. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that model? Like, how do you transition between free and, you know, what's paid?
So what actually happened, and this is how the subscription came about. So I was actually trying to build my email database, and I experimented by sending out like different kind of emails, and I was doing my own personal research to what worked. And I realized that when I sent a tip out via email, like an Instagram tip, I would get really good open rates and people would respond.
What sort of open rates were you getting?
Oh, like 60%.
Amazing.
Yeah,
That's
so really
crazy.
strong. Yeah.
Doesn't happen in 2020.
No. And this was, okay, so this would have been like 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So I sent these tips fortnightly for a year, because I thought I'll build up my email database, and I was collecting the leads off Instagram and trying to get as many people onto my email database as possible. And then what actually started happening was businesses would respond to those emails and say, we hang for these emails once a fortnight. They're so valuable. We're getting results from when we implement these tips. Can we pay you for more emails like this? And it started happening time and time again.
Right. So it wasn't like you were sitting there going, oh, how am I going to make money from this?
Totally.
It was the other way around.
Yeah.
People were like, how do we get more?
How do we get more?
How do we pay you for it?
So I created the social club where I made those emails a bit more in depth. Instead of fortnightly, I sent them monthly. I added a bonus Facebook group, started doing live webinars in the Facebook group, and created sort of a community in the Facebook group where you can get direct access to me and answer questions, get your questions answered, get feedback, and also networking for the businesses that are in the group as well, because they have the opportunity to network
help
within
them
the group.
as well, not just you.
Yeah, so that's what happened.
Yeah, so, and look, your fans love you. I took a bit of a screenshot for some of the comments.
Oh, what was it?
This one here is a bit of social lingo in here.
Is it Ahmed?
No, it's not Ahmed. So you and your business has changed my life, and it's still changing my life in a big time, in a big way.
Oh, that's
and
nice.
then this one from Pump Fit.
Yeah. G-Pump.
Yeah, to small
Marlo.
business everywhere, you're making our lives a whole ton easier, Brooke. Discovering you on IG was the best thing that happened to this platform. So that's pretty cool.
That's nice.
Very
Isn't that
nice.
cool?
Yeah. So I thought, obviously you get comments like that all the time.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So it means that like you're making an impact and actually changing people's lives, which is awesome.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately that's what you're here for. You know?
Well, look, Instagram as a platform changed my life. I had $90 when I started doing this, like $90 in total to my name.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I can use it to change my life, and I'm no genius at all, I can teach other people to use it to change their lives.
And now you've got the Social Club Plus. Is that right? I think you were talking about that as well.
So now I've got Social Club Plus as well. So I wanted to create a one-on-one program for Social Club members who want more, that are already making sales. But I found myself probably about 24 months ago in a position where everything was working. I was getting sales, but I wanted more, and I knew more was possible. So over the past 24 months, I've invested in courses and obviously wasted a lot of money on things that didn't work. So I wanted to create sort of like a blueprint for how you build your business to scale quickly.
And is that for businesses that are a little bit more mature? That Instagram is working. And they're getting traction. And it's a bit consistent as well, but then you're there to kind of like accelerate it.
I'm there to accelerate it and pull the missing pieces together. So I'm currently in the beta test of Social Club Plus. So I brought 8 businesses in to work with, and it's been really interesting because for most of them, there was really just one thing missing in the puzzle, and we've been able to identify that thing, and now they're ready to explode.
And when you do the one-on-one, is it a group chat?
No,
like
it's
Zoom
one-on-one.
Thing? So it's just
completely one-on-one.
So you do like 30-minute sessions or one per week? Or?
So the way Social Club works is it does follow a program, but it's customizable depending on the specific business. So each week they get access to a video with what we're focusing on that week. Then they have 2 days to implement the homework from the video. It's pretty intense. It's like a Instagram boot camp. So they have 2 days to implement the homework from the video. Then we have our one-on-ones on the Tuesday. So I just do them back to back. And then they've got the rest of the week to implement whatever we've spoken about in the one-on-one.
So it's quite intensive, and obviously like you're holding them accountable. Which makes it a bit
not just accountable. I'm like, come on, we've got to do this. But because I believe in the system, and I believe if you do the work, you will get the results.
Okay, awesome.
Totally.
And you obviously tweak that over time. Okay, so I mean that's obviously your more advanced person that's sort of engaging with you. I mean, what about people that jumping on Instagram and they want that growth? People aren't as patient, I guess. You probably come across that a lot. So the quick fix.
The quick fix. There is no quick fix. I compare Instagram to diet and exercise. What you do every day is going to add up over time to big results. But you're not going to walk into the gym and do one workout and come out with a six-pack. And if you are, tell me the workout that you did, because I've been trying for years and it's not working. So
it's called nip and tuck.
It's called liposuction. So it's about what you do consistently on the platform that over time adds up. I have been consistently posting, providing valuable content, engaging with my community, looking at my insights, adapting my strategy. I've been doing that for 5 years to appear as, this person that's blown up overnight. Well, no, I haven't blown up overnight, but people that come on my account now are like, wow, you're doing all this stuff. But
how did you do that?
It's been 5 years of non-stop.
But if you think about it though, it's a little bit crazy. Some people think 5 years is a long time. But in actual fact, it's not.
It's not very long at all.
If you actually dedicate to it, and have some practices in place. Like 5 years can fly by really quickly.
Feels like it's flown by. It's been the fastest 5 years of my life.
And can you imagine in another 5 years?
It's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, if I look in I would like my business to last my lifetime. So let's say I live till I don't know, 90. I'm 34 now. I've still got another 50 years to go. So what's 5 years in that?
Yeah, it's 10% of it.
Totally, it's
Yeah,
nothing.
a good way. I think if you look at it from that perspective of opportunity versus I'm 34, I've just wasted 5 years doing something and I've no idea where it's going to go. And that's out of my 35 years or whatever I've been on this earth. Then you it's the glass half full and half empty sort of approach.
I feel like I'm just beginning. I'm just getting started.
Oh, I think you are. 5 years is really, for a business, is very young.
Yeah.
And you've got
I'm just glad I survived. What is it? It's like 90% of businesses fail in the first 5 years.
They do, yeah.
So I'm in that 10%.
Yeah.
That's my win for the last 5 years. I'm still here.
Ultimately, you've built that community.
Yeah.
And that's going to get you through the tough times like COVID and things like that.
Yeah.
There's, it doesn't matter what's happening. You're on digital. You have very low costs and things like that. You don't have very high overheads. So you've got a business model that's quite agile.
Yeah.
So it's great. So in terms of going to businesses and everyday brands, so the bigger brands and the bigger companies, what's your sort of tips on how they can manage their social media a little bit better? And what are you sort of seeing that's kind of quite common in the industry?
So number one, don't just palm off your social media to the intern. I think that's where a lot of people go wrong. And I see it all the time. We'll just get the intern to do it. That's not the point of an intern to begin with. They're there to learn off you, not for you to palm off the jobs you don't want to do. So they need to take it seriously. Social media is the future of pretty much every single brand on the planet. It's the future of communication. It's also the now of communication. So take it seriously and realize the power of it.
But ultimately, business owners, I think, obviously don't have the time.
Yeah.
And it's because it's such a big transition from traditional media to social media. They just don't want to go through that transition, and they'd rather just palm it off to someone to manage it and take care of it.
Which I think is fine.
There's pros and cons to
Yeah.
that,
I think ultimately you need to decide what's right for your brand. Do you want to outsource it, or do you want to hire someone in that's got experience, that can set up a strategy for your business,
that understands your business from the inside
understands
out.
your business? Yeah, you've just got to decide what's right for you. I mean, I obviously teach social media and I believe in the value of teaching it, but I can see with certain businesses that for them it's better to outsource.
Okay.
Or even outsource portions of it.
What would be an example of a business where...
I've got a beauty salon at the moment that I'm working with in Social Club Plus. So what we've decided is it's her salon. She doesn't have any staff.
Right.
Her time is better spent with her clients.
Nurturing her clients.
And she can outsource the visuals for her Instagram.
Right.
So somebody else can put the feed together. She can still do the engagement. But then her time's better spent with her clients one-on-one rather than trying to figure out what to post today.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So obviously that's what you do with your business. You're posting all the time. You're the one that writes all the comments and everything.
Yeah.
But then there are some businesses where you'll step back and go, well, hang on, actually that's not the best strategy for you because...
Totally. Well, I mean, if they can make, I don't know, what's she charging, $1,000 for an eyebrow tattoo session, which takes an hour, and you can pay a VA or a social media manager, $500-600 a month. You can make a lot more money if you're tattooing more people. Ultimately, you want to be building up your social media to a point where your business and your services are completely booked out, and you can bring on people that will help.
But it's interesting that you still look at the business metrics as well. You don't
100%.
Go, oh no, you got to post. It's more like...
I'm here for you to make money. I need to make you money, and we need to work out where your time is best spent.
How to optimize that best as possible.
Absolutely.
So does she do the comments as well?
So she does the engagement and responds to the DMs, responds to the comments, but somebody else handles the posting now.
The posting, so someone else writes the actual posts.
Yeah.
And then she just jumps in there and comments and stuff, which is easier for her. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
No, that's really interesting. And I guess the other thing is that going back to the whole intern thing, we've got to really nurture interns. I think that's a bit of a bad... There's a bad flow at the moment in the business world where people are kind of getting people in, interns, young people, and they're not really training them to do the role that they've come to do. They've just sort of sticking them into this social media, little circle that they just keep going around, managing all the accounts, but then they're not really learning about the business. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I think interns are there to learn off your business. That's the point. But I think people see interns as, I'll just get them to work for free doing the admin that I don't want to do. And that doesn't work. Like my assistant now, she started off as a 12-week internship. So she had exactly what she wanted to learn off me, and she was incredible. And so I gave her a job.
Yeah. Okay,
You know,
yeah.
and I didn't see that as, I'll just bring you in for 12 weeks, palm a bunch of work off to you, and then see you later.
Yeah.
I've said, I want someone that's invested in this business, because if I can see that you care about what we're doing and you're eager to learn, then you can see how fast my company is growing. There's opportunity for you to come on board and work with us. And I think that's where so many people get it wrong.
Yeah, and there's several options. There's obviously getting an intern. You can outsource it to a social media business that does that, that looks after your organic posts and stuff like that and content. What about outsourcing overseas? There's quite a few people that do that too. Using freelancers offshore and
you
things
just
like
got
that.
to be on top of it.
Yeah.
I've had so many businesses that have come to me after they've been burnt by outsourcing, and the person or the agency or whatever may end up following like a bunch of spam accounts, buy followers, stuff like that, and then you're kind of starting from scratch.
This means offshoring, right? When you say outsourcing, you mean offshoring. Yeah.
So just be smart about it.
But you see it all the time. But
All
your
the time.
preference would be to keep it local? Like
Yeah,
the brand.
totally.
Yeah.
I think it's important, to support local, but there's plenty of people that you can find in your local community that can work within your
100%.
budget.
Yes.
And just ask to see, what are your previous works? What are the other accounts that you manage? Like, check them out. Do your due diligence, because ultimately it's your business.
Exactly.
You need to be on top of it.
Yeah, it's not just turning a blind eye to it, actually overseeing it.
Totally.
Yeah. And that's the end of our podcast. Thank you so much, Brooke. We're going to have you back again for part 2. So this was a really short one today. But how do people find you, Brooke?
So you can find me on Instagram or on Facebook as Social Club Community. Don't try and find my surname because it's really hard to spell. Just go to @socialclubcommunity and then you'll be able to find me through there.
So really, that's the end of our podcast today. Thanks for watching. We are on LinkedIn Live and YouTube, so please subscribe or comment below. But yeah, thanks for enjoying this podcast with us, and we'll see you soon.